Welcome back to Neuroconvergent Leadership, where we talk about effective communication with people who are neurodivergent or just neuro different than you are. We want to be conversant with a wide range of humans. I'm Jeremy Doran. I help great engineers become great leaders, and today we're going to talk about why engineers are the best at conflict resolution without compromising. Probably not exactly what you were expecting. Let's get into it. When two people can't agree, they very often resort to compromise, which I guess is better than a duel to the death, but it waters the solution down, which makes no one happy. I suppose the upside is that people are less unhappy than they would have been if they'd lost, but is that the goal? Just to be less unhappy? I think there's a better way. So I ask myself, what would an engineer do? When faced with problems, engineers do two things. They state their assumptions and they look for the very best answer. When you ask an engineer what seems like a simple question, very often they'll say, it depends, which is maddening to a lot of people. But I know that when I was in high school and college, I would have an engineering or physics problem, and you don't know everything. You can't know everything, so you have to make assumptions, and then you list them so that the person grading it knows what assumptions you made and is in the same frame of reference that you are. Engineers are very good at stating their assumptions. They're also really good at looking for the best answer. How often do you hear engineers say, it's close enough or good enough? Nope. They're going to want the best thing. My contention is these two qualities are what make for great conflict resolution. In episode 7, I talked about the difference between discussion, debate, and argument. In this case, let's just call it debate. So imagine my girlfriend and I are trying to figure out where to go on our winter vacation. I want to go to a beach somewhere tropical and warm. She wants to go to a ski resort in the mountains. These two things do not sound anywhere close, and a lot of people would default to a compromise. What kind of compromise can you make there? Don't do it. Don't compromise. Now, if we look at what engineers would do, we start with the assumptions. My assumptions are that she wants to go to a ski mountain because she wants to ski all day. If she wants to ski all day, it's going to need to have challenging trails because she's quite good at skiing. So it's going to have to be a high mountain, either high mountain or high altitude. It's going to be very cold. And because she's better than me and there are challenging trails, I assume we're going to spend a lot of time alone. I'll be skiing on the greens and maybe a blue, and she'll be on the blacks. When I checked those assumptions, I was way off. She wanted to ski because it's a fun and exciting way to get exercise outdoors. She wanted something outdoors, fun, exciting exercise. She'll be happy if, in addition to downhill skiing, we do cross-country skiing, fat biking, tubing even. And at night, she doesn't want to be, skiing, but maybe sitting in a hot tub or going to a restaurant, eating out, having fun, relaxing. Now, my assumptions and what she had thought were pretty far off. Her assumptions are that I want to lie around all day on the beach, which is too hot for her. She doesn't like the heat, and she burns easily, so she would need to wear a lot of sunblock or cover everything up, and it would just be boring. She loves to read, but a whole week, all day on the beach reading books was going to just be too boring for her. So when she checked with me, I definitely want to be warm because, in part, I want the ability to be able to relax outside. It's wintertime. I don't like the cold. Being warm, being able to be outside, it's very relaxing for me, but I want to play. I want activities. I want volleyball. I want water skiing. I want to play basketball in the pool. And I want a place with nightlife, shows, restaurants, that sort of thing. So when we really look at the assumptions we each made and what the reality was, we were much more in line than we thought. We want time outside. We want exercise. We want adventure. We want relaxation. And we want a lot of food and restaurant options. We hadn't really thought about it, but we'd prefer to go to a place that we rarely or have never been to before. So other than temperature and the specific activities, we basically wanted the same thing. Should we compromise? Tap into your inner engineer and say no. Find the best solution. Very often, the best solution is a third option that neither person had thought of before. So when we looked at that, in this scenario, we came up with Sedona. In late winter, it's warm enough for me. I can be outside some of the time, on a pool, just relaxing, and it's not too hot for her. There are all sorts of ways to get exercise. There's hiking, kayaking. They also have things like wine tours, Jeep tours. They have even wine tours by train. They have restaurants, they have bars. And I had said nightlife earlier, but neither one of us wanted crazy, loud, overwhelming nightlife. We just wanted there to be some activity at night that we can go and do. So Sedona was at least as good as either of our first choices. In some cases, better. So by not compromising and going and looking for a third solution, we came up with something even better. Now, this is a simple example, but it kind of shows the point. When you have a disagreement, if you're not careful, it can either turn into a dispute or conflict where there's a winner and a loser, which makes somebody very unhappy. Or you end up compromising, in which case no one's very unhappy. Everyone's just a little bit less unhappy than they would have been before. If you channel your inner engineer, check the assumptions on both sides. Don't just settle for an okay solution. Look for a third solution that might be better than either one. Find that best solution. Channel your inner engineer and find the best outcome. Thank you for listening to another episode of Neuroconversant Leadership. I'd like to know how you enjoyed it and what I can do better. If you have feedback, good or bad, let me know. Go to my webpage at www.neuroconversantleadership.com. Send me a message. What you liked, what could be better, what topics you'd like me to cover. I want to make this podcast work for you, so please help me by providing that feedback. Thank you again, and have yourselves a great week.